Hey there everyone, thanks for tuning in to a brand new video review. And as you can see, I also have a brand new setup for this video. I decided to make my own light box. I watched a few YouTube tutorial videos and had an old shipping box and picked up a few supplies like the white paper and then some fabric for the light diffuser from Walmart and Joann Fabrics. And then I also purchased some new Sunpak lights from Best Buy. I'll have all the information down below, and I will probably be doing a lightbox tutorial video of my own and kind of show you my quick version that you see in front of you, and then a more detailed version, or a better quality version of that. Anyway, today I have three brand new pieces to my collection that are all part of the brand new hype behind The Mandalorian, the Disney Plus Star Wars series, and I was in talks to all three of these prop replica builders who I found through Etsy, and I've also been speaking to on social media. And as you can see, they are pretty different, but we'll get into that in just a moment. Essentially, they are all the Beskar ingots that we did see in the Mandalorian series when he is getting paid for his bounty work and essentially turning into the armor to upgrade his armor and become more protected. I actually have a few more pieces coming in, but until then, I wanted to go ahead and do a review for what I do have in front of me. Now, from all three of these, they do all come from different prop replica builders, and I'll just go down from right to left. I don't really have a favorite because they are all so different, but I'll be sure to go into detail about what I like and don't like about each one. And of course, I'll give my best review for you all, and I'll leave all the links to all the shops down below as well, so you can come in contact with those people and see, which one suits you well too. Let's go ahead and start with Parton Prints. This guy, his name is also Alex, and he was kind enough to send in a clip to kind of give a background and show what his prop replica building in his studio is all about. So let me go ahead and put in that clip right now before I get into his review.
Thanks, Alex. Appreciate you having me on the channel and showing off a little bit of our Etsy store's operation here with a couple printers that we have. If anyone's curious, we can do props for cosplay, we can do any type of items, models, you name it, we can print it. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us at Parton Prints on Instagram and Facebook. Make sure to follow us, as well as check out our store, see what we have on there. And if you don't see anything you like, just reach out, we can see if we can print it for you.
Alex is a super cool guy. We've been talking and chatting a lot lately, and hopefully, I am able to buy some more replicas from him. And if you do enjoy, his little clip and his piece right here, then I highly recommend you go see him as well. And again, really quick, because this is a new light box, I'm getting the hang of this, so hopefully everything turns out okay. There is Alex's business card right here. Parton Prints, there's his logo. And here is his Beskar ingot replica. You can see the Imperial logo right there. The back has the details of those two little bars that were included we saw. You can feel all the details on this. Nice sharp edges and flat corners, or flat edges and sharp corners, I should say. Nice reflective silver on it too. Not too shiny. I think, the one we still see in the background is a little bit shinier, but this still has a nice metal look to it. And it's actually pretty light, and I do have a scale, and I'll do the weights at the end of the video just so we can kind of do them back to back, and I'll also measure them so we have a better comparison of the three and you can actually see them back to back. But right now we'll just take a look at here. I think this might be hollow, or just very light material. It almost has a wood appearance to it. I actually can't remember. I was planning to write down what material each of these was made of, but I forgot to do that, of course. So if I do remember, I'll go ahead and include little notes in the bottom of the video. But this is probably the lightest one I do have. It almost has like the wood cardboard feel to it. Not in a bad way. It's still pretty sturdy and, it doesn't bend or anything, but it's a pretty nice piece. And, holding it, I guess the Mando held it in the left hand, did he? So just taking a look at that. I see all the grooves on the side as well. There we go. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. And this is from Folkenstal Prop and Armory Building, I think. There's her little note that she includes with her Etsy purchase and her logo. And as you can see, hers is the darkest of the three. I'm also going to put in little clips of, the Beskar we do see in the show. And I think as far as detail, this might have the most because of all the lines and grooves to it. And they all do have the indents, so you can feel them carved into the metal, or into the replica, I should say. Now, funny little story, Anna's was the very first one I saw on Etsy, or maybe one of the first 2 or 3. Hers was the best overall, but with the pictures she had included, and we already talked about this, I've been in constant communication with Anna, so I do feel terrible about being a little bit rude, but the pictures made the emblem, the Imperial logo, look horrible. Nothing against Anna. Everything looked fantastic, except in the photos, it made Anna rework the logo and rework the entire piece, and she's actually kind enough in sending me a 2.0 version, which she does have for sale right now on her Etsy store too. Now that I got it in person, and I even told her this looks fantastic. She actually hand carved this logo, and it's not a stamp. Her 2.0 version is a stamp, and I believe these guys have Imperial stamps as well. But she actually hand carved this, and it looks so much better in person. And you can very slightly see the little differences in the sizes from the corners and the edges here. The middle part, the middle part of the logo looks okay. But overall, it looks really cool. Slight differences in the size from top to bottom, a little bit rounded on the edges. And she actually did the back just the same. So hers isn't exactly screen accurate with the 1.0 version, because what we saw on screen has this on the back and this on the front, whereas Anna's has the same on both sides. No problem at all, because quite honestly, if I'm going to display this, you're probably going to be seeing only the front, or depending if I stack them on top of each other, and then maybe have one of them up top or standing upright. It just depends on you. And even if you're going to use it for props or just walking around, if you go to Galaxy's Edge, this would be pretty cool. And having the tracking fob, I've seen a ton of those on Etsy as well. So it'd be a cool little piece to carry around. And this actually kind of feels more so like a medieval blacksmith version to me, because obviously it's not going to be perfect, and this kind of feels the most realistic in terms of, I guess, medieval aspects of it, if so to speak. I'm not quite sure how to say it. And then whereas Alex's, the Parton Prints on this side, looks the more realistic in just real world now, what you might find if you were to buy something, in terms of a Beskar ingot, I guess. And last but not least, this is from Kentucky Custom Sports. This one is the biggest piece of them all and the heaviest, that's for sure. As far as detail, I'd actually compare this one more so to Alex's. They have pretty similar, I think, the Kentucky version. So I think the Kentucky version has more of a bolder design on it, whereas Alex's, in person, it is kind of hard to see all the grooves and carvings into it. And it has more of like the wood appearance, whereas this one has the heavier carving. Let me try to get them at the same angle so you can see them. And there's a close-up on the stamp as well. And then the back does have the screen-accurate design with the 2 bars up here. And again, this is the shiniest one of the 3. The corners aren't exactly the straightest, a little bit off and a little bit rounded, but it's not too much of a problem. It's pretty straight overall. And here's looking at it, holding it in your hand. And then the edges on this one are smooth, whereas Alex's do continue with the carvings on the edges, and they kind of continue from the sides. And then Anna's, let's see, this hers. Yeah, hers are also pretty flat, but there are a few marks here and there that show the work being done. Kind of this one, yeah, this is smooth all around. Actually, this side, So this side, it looks like it does have the carvings, whereas the bottom, the top, and the other side do not. So let me go ahead and get the scale and the ruler in here, and we can measure these pieces. We'll go ahead and go in order again. This is Alex's, the Parton Prints. And if you can see that, that comes in at 0.7 ounces. This one measures about just under 4 inches tall. Actually, you can't see that. So just under 4 inches tall. And I'll start it at 3. And just about 2 inches wide. As far as thickness goes, I guess we'll use the centimeter. Well, centimeters might not be, yeah, millimeters. We'll use the millimeter side. And it's just about 5 millimeters thick. And that comes in at 1.3 ounces, so a little bit heavier. And this stands at about just over 4 inches, about 2.25 inches wide. And as far as thickness goes, that is about 5 millimeters thick. And last but not least, the Kentucky Custom Sports. That is 2.6 ounces. This one stands just about 4.5 inches tall. And 2.25 inches wide. And just under 10 millimeters thick. And I'll go ahead and stand them all together to show you the size differences of these. And that might be the best way to show them. There we go. So you can see the first two are almost the same. Actually, they're all relatively close. I think the Kentucky Sports is just the tallest of the three, but as far as, and the widest, of course, but you know, they do gradually increase, and the weight is where there is the biggest difference among them all. And you can kind of hold them, or you know, when I got the first one, I got Anna's holding it to show off. Now, do I have a favorite? No. Do I have a not so favorite? No. Are there good and bad, as I mentioned, of all three? Yes and no. As far as which one is the most accurate to screen version, I think it has to be between these two. I don't think either of them are the most screen accurate. Actually, I think in terms of size, this one size-wise might be the most accurate in terms of, and again, in terms of size. Sorry, I'm repeating myself. In terms of actual color and design, it's again between these two, but then again, these two are almost the same as well. So I'd have to say, yeah, between these three colors, that's where, you know, we'll kind of get a more screen accurate color scheme or color pattern. Now, as far as the actual Beskar design or the Damascus steel, now if you don't know, Damascus steel is what appears to be the actual metal or design that Lucasfilm or Disney actually is using for the Beskar ingots. And I have to say, I think Anna's in the middle has to be the most accurate in terms of actual lines and curvatures and carvings and all that. Because when you look at the actual Beskar, and again, I'll put up a little image of it right now, you don't really see these swooping circles like Kentucky's and Parton Prints does, but we have more, it's more waves, more of the connected waves. So I think Anna at Folkenstal did the best at actually matching the design of it, whereas Kentucky did the best in terms of size, and then Kentucky and Parton did the best in terms of color. And we haven't really seen too much of the Beskar. I think we've seen it in 2 episodes now, and it's just been brief moments of getting paid or making the armor, but I'm sure we will see it more again. And like I said, I have more Beskar coming. I have version 2.0 of Anna's here, and I have some from other Etsy creators and prop builders as well. So I'll be sure to do a video of those, and I'll compare them to these also. And I personally love all of these. They all have a different taste to them, a different look, a different aspect. So I'm very happy with all of them. How I'm going to display them, I'm not too sure yet. I was talking to one of the sellers. I'm not going to reveal who just yet, but they did mention that they would be working on the ice cream maker that we did see in Return of the Jedi, and now in The Mandalorian we find out it's pretty much as safe. And I think there was another seller or two that were teasing it on Facebook, but until that happens, you know, I might just display these in a stack with one of them popped up on a little stand. But I hope this review helps you all. I know there are a ton of Beskar just hitting the market. Some are being made by hand, some are just being 3D printed, some are being made with metal, some with PVC and wood and just every type there is out there. These three I'm very happy to own. They, again, each bring a little difference to Beskar and the Star Wars prop collecting and or just collecting in general. And they all do, again, have different aspects of realism. If you do have any questions, feel free to leave them down below, or if you have any comments, again, all the links for these three shops and creators will be down in the description. Again, thank you all for watching. Thank you too for sticking through with my new Lightbox display. I hope you all enjoyed that, and we'll see you next time.